In this episode of Beyond the Classroom, you'll meet Kim Reed, a former middle school band director whose career transition didn't begin with a plan. It began with a breaking point. As her health, career, and personal life all shifted at the same time, she had to learn how to rebuild one small step at a time. And here's the incredible part. Between the day she agreed to be on this podcast and the day we recorded it, Kim accepted a full-time role as a customer success manager. If you're feeling stuck or wondering if your next step will ever come, you won't want to miss this conversation.
I'm Lisa Harding, ex-EdTech CEO turned certified teacher career coach. It wasn't all that long ago that I was recruiting, interviewing, and hiring teachers for roles in corporate America. Teachers that ended up being some of my all-time best employees. Fast forward through my own career transition, where I left my role as CEO to become a stay-at-home mom, I now work with and empower teachers to transform their lives by turning their once distant career dreams into realities. In this podcast, I give you simple, actionable, step-by-step strategies to help you do the same. If you're a burnt-out teacher or simply need a change and you're looking to create a life you love, you're in the right place, friend. Let's get started.
Hey friends, Lisa here. Welcome back to Beyond the Classroom. Today's episode is part of our Messy Middle series, real conversations with teachers who are navigating a career transition in real time. And this one is especially powerful because sometimes it's not just your career that's changing, it's everything. Today, I'm joined by Kim, a former middle school band director who reached a point where she simply couldn't keep going. After 14 years in the classroom, what started as a career transition quickly became something much bigger. Her health, her relationship, and her living situation all shifted at once, and she didn't have a plan. But in this conversation, Kim shares what it looked like to take those first small steps forward anyway, and how she began rebuilding one step at a time. You'll hear about the challenges she faced, the mindset shifts that helped her keep going, and how she navigated the uncertainty of starting over without having everything figured out. So if you've ever felt stuck, overwhelmed, or unsure of what your next step should be, this episode is for you. Let's dive in. All right, Kim, welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you so much. I'm excited to be here and talk to you about the messy middle today.
Well, we're so excited to have you. We loved having you as a member here at the Teacher Career Transition Academy, and I'm excited to jump into your messy middle, but I actually heard a little rumor that between the time that you scheduled this podcast about 2 weeks ago and today, you might have an update for me.
Yeah, I got a job offer as a customer success manager. At the time when I signed up for this podcast, I genuinely had no idea how my interview processes would turn out. And so I was like, you know what? I am in the middle and this is messy and I want to talk about it. And sure enough, in between the scheduling, you just don't know what is going to happen. You keep planting seeds and they will grow. You just don't know when or how. So I'm really pumped.
Well, that is congratulations, first of all. That's amazing. And I would love to dive into that too. So let's start with the messy middle, and then we will share a little bit with the audience about customer success and how that process went for you. But before we can get in the middle, can you just lay a quick foundation of what you were doing when you were in the education industry and your background in teaching?
Yeah, so I was a middle school band director for 14 years. I was absolutely in love with it for the longest time. I saw significant value in teaching students about life through the medium of band. I enjoyed being an electives teacher and that kids chose to be there for the most part. And some of them, they were like, my mom wants me to learn the flute like she did. But I really enjoyed it. I presented at local and state and national conferences about how to build students up one small step at a time, and just everything about their journey was so important to me. And I was mostly working at Title I schools for the bulk of my career. And the last 2 years, I got this job in a different area and we didn't have to worry about budget as much and funding. And I was like, this is it. It's going to be easier now. because the whole time I was at Title I, I was like, I don't know if I can sustain this. We're constantly worried about like kids being able to afford instruments, and just in general, just sustaining the ability to be in an elective that costs money. And so I was like, oh, this is going to be different. I can't wait to try this side of things. It wasn't easier. It turns out, it comes with its own set of things, and everyone says that the grass is greener and blah, blah, blah. And I knew that, but, to kind of get that job, and I had so many hopes and dreams for what it would be. And I just fell out of love with band and with teaching. And I was devastated because it was everything I'd worked toward. In my opinion, I thought it was my dream job. And so that is my background. That is what led me into where we are now.
All right. Okay. So middle school band director, many, many years, and you tried the whole trick of like, try a different school, try this, which we always recommend, kind of exploring that before giving up your passion. So you checked all the boxes, and then you decided it was kind of time to go. Did you have something lined up? Did you jump at feet first? Tell us about that initial breakup, if you will.
Yeah. So I want to be clear. I did not want to leave teaching at all. I tried everything to get my passion back for it. I took some FMLA to try to like calm myself and figure it out. I scaled back, and I was like, oh, for my lunch, I'm always going to go outside now, and I'm going to like go touch grass so that I'm not in the building all the time. I tried so many tricks, and I lost like 50 pounds over the course of the last year because I couldn't eat. I couldn't function. I was dry heaving every morning, which I didn't know that could actually happen to you. You hear people talk about your body kind of rejecting the situation you're in. I wanted it to work so bad. I stayed through all of that, and I stayed all the way until the last day that I could resign from my contract. I tried so hard to figure it out, and I just couldn't. And I didn't have anything lined up. I knew things were deeply in trouble by April of last year. And so I decided to join some Facebook groups, and because I was like, I've got to do something. I don't know. I have no idea how I'm going to get out of this. Oh my God, help me. And so I joined some Facebook groups, and I saw you in there. And so I did like a free class seminar type thing. And I was like, I got to be part of this. I've got to educate myself and learn more. So I didn't have anything lined up. I was so devastated with my breakup with teaching. And so I just jumped. And that was really, really scary. And I would love to share a little bit more personal things with you if you don't mind, because part of the reason I wanted to come on the Messy Middle is I didn't really hear anyone with my story when I was like in these Facebook groups, and I was listening to podcasts. I listened to your podcast. At the same time that was happening, my long-term relationship, my college sweetheart, was ending. And all these people in these Facebook comments were like, yeah, I'm leaving teaching, and my husband, is going to help support me. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be alone and do this with no plan. What am I doing? But physically, I had to do something because I was getting sick. Like it was not okay. So like, and I don't recommend this to anyone who's listening. You know what you shouldn't do? I mean, you know what? If you have to do it, do it. You can survive. I'm proof of it. But your long-term relationship ending, your long-term career ending, selling your house, moving in with your parents, you know what? That's not fun to do. But sometimes you don't have a choice. I did not feel like I had a choice at that point. I had to take care of myself. So that's a long-winded answer, but I wanted you to know the depth of that breakup it's so intense.
Well, and thank you for sharing that, because I often think about that too. I love everyone's story, and everyone's story is so unique, but I feel like folks that might have a partner who is the primary income and, that's keeping them through, and they don't have the pressure of doing it themselves is a totally different story. And there are so many teachers out there who are solo parenting, just single, maybe they can't rely on a partner for whatever reason, or their income still matters. And I feel like these are the stories that are really great to get out there. So thank you for being vulnerable. And, sometimes it does take a huge change. It sounds like you went through a lot of life's biggest changes at the same time. And now you're kind of on the other side of it. Now, even more so as you celebrate your job offer. Yourself today, looking back at that, do you have any regrets for selling that house, moving in, uprooting your whole system?
I have thought about it a lot, and no, I don't. I genuinely did the best that I could every step of the way. I showed up for myself in every single way that I could. And the biggest thing that I didn't realize as I was starting this transition, I knew that I had a support system, but I thought it would primarily rely on my boyfriend that I had at the time. And it turns out people were ready to absolutely catch me and just really help me through this. So like, I'm super grateful to my family and to my friends. I was very surprised because like, I'm in my 30s. I've been an adult. I've been a homeowner. I've like had my own career. And the idea of it felt like regression. Like to go to my childhood house. Like the last time I lived here, I was 18. So like the ghost of high school me floats around as I'm like wandering around. But I was really embarrassed that I couldn't hack it in teaching. I was really, really embarrassed. And that's just not true. And so looking back, I have no regrets. Everything happened as it did, and I navigated the best that I could. And to anyone who is thinking about transitioning or currently in the middle of it, you are navigating it the best that you can, and it's not going to be perfect. And you can listen to people say, do this step, do that step, do that. That's great. Like it's great advice. Sometimes it's just not going to work out that way. And you need to do what's best for you in your timeline.
I love that, and amen to that. And you kind of brought up the emotions of like embarrassment. And I know a lot of other teachers feel guilt or shame, or like you said, I feel like I couldn't hack it. And I feel like sometimes a lot of that is just self-inflicted, because from the outside, I hear your story and I'm like, wow, how inspiring are you? Like, good for you for putting yourself first, because no one else will do that. And what a hard thing that you did, because you value yourself so much. But on the other side of it, I know there are all of those emotions, and it's just really hard to navigate it from an emotional standpoint. So thank you for opening up and being vulnerable and sharing that with everyone. So you are moving into customer success, but maybe talk to me a little bit, like, how did you know that customer success existed? How did you find out that might be a good fit for you?
Yeah, I'm going to be straight with you. It's the academy. I didn't know that job existed at all. The resource of all of the careers and the training, and I think it's like, how many jobs? 200 and how many is it?
There's over 200 jobs in the directory now.
Okay, that's yeah. I read that whole directory a year ago, back in May, before I think it was right at the beginning of me joining, and I was just so desperate to get something right away that I was looking at like, what are things that I can do without schooling and without doing any additional training. And it took me a long time for customer success to stand out, because so many jobs that teachers can directly transition to touched on the things that burned me out of teaching. So like a lot of the ed tech roles, I was like, I don't know if I can get close to that right now. And so customer success kept kind of floating around, because something about being an elective teacher is retention is the name of the game. You need to recruit students to get in, you need to get them to fall in love, and they need to stay, because the health of your program depends on the number of students in your program. It's not a core class in which students are required to take math or English or whatever. It is a choice. So what I loved, something I really enjoyed was, I call it getting people to drink the Kool-Aid. Like, I want them to completely buy in and be invested in something because they see the benefits of it. So in reading about customer success managers and seeing that retention is a heavy name of the game and getting people to get the most out of their product, I'm really passionate about that anyway. And so that's something that I was so grateful I could take from my teaching career and apply it somewhere else, because I was desperately trying to figure out how to glean what I could grab from my teaching career that I enjoyed to put it aside, because I had a very specific skill set of like, I can teach you how to play the clarinet. So I don't necessarily want to apply that. So what can I do? And I just still am in love with retention. So that's where customer success management came in.
That's amazing. And I love that you were able to use the resources in the academy to help get you there. And it really is such a great career for teachers. Being on the other side of it, at one point in a former life, I managed our customer success team, and teachers make amazing customer success managers. And I know you said that the ed tech world, you weren't quite ready for that. What industry are you going to be going into doing customer success?
Yeah, it's going to be a real estate software company that specializes in closings. And that's something that I'm not necessarily super passionate about it yet, because I just don't have a ton of information. Like I said, I sold my house. My closing experience was so sad. Like sitting at my table and like this, oh gosh, what are they called? This notary. I was like, what's this paper? And she's like, I don't know, just sign it. And I was like, this is not, I was like, I'm selling my first house. What's going on? And so I am excited to learn more about it. And kind of just make things easier for people, because I did have a direct experience of like, this is not transparent and I don't like it.
Well, yeah, and I feel like I love that it's something totally unrelated to education, because a lot of times, teachers want something, like you said, you don't have to go back and get another master's or go back to school, but they also don't want to be super connected to education anymore. They need a little breathing room. And especially jobs like customer success, you can take some of those skills that you enjoy, but you're in a whole new world. Like you probably never would have, you might not even have known that real estate software existed and that you could be in the real estate software industry. So kudos to you.
Thanks. I'm really excited.
Is the job local? Is it remote? Is it hybrid? Tell us a little bit about the role that you're stepping into.
Yeah, so it's hybrid. I'm really excited about that. And I'm excited to kind of plant roots back. I'm in my hometown, and so I'm excited to stay here. My family's here. It's hybrid. I will be in the office 2 days a week and then remote 3 days a week. I recently received my email about my preferred technology choices. I have not ever experienced that in my life. So I'm just really excited to kind of explore this new space. I would have been okay going into the office. I would have been okay doing totally remote, but I'm really excited to just try something different.
I love that. And I think that you're going to love the hybrid, because if nothing else, you will learn which you prefer more. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing like a little bit of flexibility in life, especially after teaching, when the flexibility is about zero.
Yeah, no, exactly. The flexibility is wait for the summer.
Yes. Well, yeah. And then when you want to travel, then you're going to be paying the premium prices like everyone else.
Correct. Yes.
I would love to hear maybe a little bit more about, I know what led you to the academy now. Would you mind sharing a little bit about how the resources helped you, or what your favorite part of it was, or how you feel like it helped played a role getting you where you are today?
Yeah, absolutely. I particularly walking through the interview processes, because I've never done so many rounds of interviews before. I think this job had 4, and I was a finalist for another job and all kinds of whatever, but walking through how to talk to different people, like knowing that you're going to talk to the recruiter first, then knowing that you're going to talk to someone else, just knowing that it's a longer process, and especially the resources to kind of advocate for yourself, something I really, really appreciated about the academy that I didn't when I was first taking the course, I wasn't in the interview phase necessarily. So I wasn't prepared to like understand the depth of negotiation. But that was so helpful for me to know how that works because I've never experienced that before. And I did negotiate this salary. And I felt really empowered to do that just by knowing that it's a normal thing and knowing that, you know, this is the moment to advocate for yourself. This is the most money you're going to get from a job, is this upfront moment, because you're typically going to get, you know, a more structured scale thereafter. So just having those resources, having that information, keeping track of the jobs I applied for. The tracker was super helpful for me because I could kind of see the pace of what I was doing and hold myself accountable, as well as understand the time if I haven't heard back from a company. You know, it just kind of, all to say, the resources just tended to set my expectations. And initially, I will say the first resources that were really beneficial were the ones where I was kind of exploring my values, because I just was so lost when I just bailed. I didn't bail. I fought really hard to stay in teaching, but I felt like I pulled the emergency like escape hatch and just left. And I was like, I don't even know where to go from here. So getting back in touch with myself and my wants and needs, and not the wants and needs placed upon me by the education system, like what I am expected to want, what I am expected to need, really getting back in touch. The Academy helped me do that.
Wow. Well, that's amazing. And I love hearing that. So thank you so much. Were you able to attend any of the small group coaching sessions or the member meetups?
I did. I was at the time that I was attending those, I was not really having forward motion. I was still very in the dark figuring things out. But sitting and listening to other people was so comforting. Being part of a conversation and not feeling alone, because my friends are still band directors. You know, I'm kind of the band director who left out of my friends, and that's okay. But being around other people, listening to their journeys, I felt less isolated. So I really enjoyed that, even though I didn't have much to contribute at the time. I was just absorbing like a sponge.
And it's funny, I hear that from a lot of Academy members. It's like when they're going through it, they know that they should maybe get on the small group coaching, but they feel like they don't have anything to contribute. And then after the fact, they're like, oh yeah, I probably did have things to contribute, and to jump in. So I always encourage our members, it doesn't matter if you're just starting, you're midway, jump on those, because you are in a very safe zone and a very great place. And even if the first few times you just listen in, you're going to get some valuable information. So as we kind of wrap up, I know we were talking about messy middle, we're talking about the end result now. If we go back real quickly to the messy middle, what is one piece of advice that you might have for a teacher who currently feels like they are in this messy middle, and just any sort of wisdom or advice that you can share from your own journey?
Yeah, I think that as teachers, we tend to see things in structured timelines, and we tend to plot and plan and try to make things happen according to our timelines that we have for us. If I had known a year ago that it would be basically a year journey, I would have been really intimidated and shocked. But as I was navigating the messy middle, I realized that we don't need to be on a timeline. We need to be taking methodical, intentional steps. It can be daily, it can be weekly, but something that sustained me is the idea that I was moving even a centimeter forward, because some days I felt like I couldn't move at all. I felt like I could not bear to create forward momentum. And so, you know, even if it was just, I was intimidated by LinkedIn for the longest time. So some days my centimeter was opening LinkedIn, scrolling it for 5 minutes and closing it, because I was too wound up to process doing something else at the time. So any type of exposure you can create for yourself that's intentional, that can create that momentum for you, it will sustain you and it will move forward and it will be okay. I'm not saying that you're gonna, like, I was planning on saying this anyway, whether I had a job or not. It's going to be okay. You just keep doing the things that you can control, which keep taking those little steps forward or big steps, whatever you feel comfortable with. It's going to be okay.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And I know it probably hits a little bit different now that you do have a job, which that is great. But I think the advice, no matter where you are in your journey, still resonates. And, as you know, Kim, if you've listened to a lot of episodes or been on some of my training, like I will harp on momentum all the time and how important that is in the folks that actually make it happen versus ones that struggle a little bit more, because sometimes, and especially in teaching, I feel like you're used to putting in work and getting results, right? You do a lesson plan, you do the lesson plan, you instantly see the impact for your students. You might have to change it a little bit and some students might get it, some might not, but you have like instant gratification. But with a career change, it is so many small little steps that don't pay off until the very end of the process. And so sometimes that's hard to kind of work through when you're used to being in a role where work gives almost an immediate response or like justification. So momentum is so huge. Thank you for sharing that. Any final words of advice as we close out here?
Yeah. Final words are, as corny as it sounds, you have to do right by you. My life is so much better now because I started listening to myself again and started taking care of myself. And yeah, I ended up working part-time at Pure Barre for a while and living with my parents. And you know what? It healed me so much. And I don't regret stepping into my messy middle. I was terrified to do it. Terrified. Like, it felt like death, truly. And I don't regret stepping into it. And just listen to yourself, trust yourself, take care of yourself, truly take care of yourself, whatever that little thing is that you need to take care of yourself. And I'm always here if people want to reach out. That's why I came on the podcast. I wanted to be a resource should anyone need it, because I was so lonely at the beginning of my process doing this.
Well, thank you so much. And I know we have your LinkedIn, so we will drop that link in the show notes. And for any listeners who may have been considering joining the Academy, or maybe they're just hearing about it for the first time, anything you'd want to share to them about your experience?
Absolutely. Take the risk. Jump in, do it. It's a monthly subscription. It's still a monthly subscription, right?
There are monthly options. Yep.
Okay. For me, I chose monthly, and that was really, really beneficial to me. I was really pleased to invest what I could per month. That was something it just truly helped me go at my pace. And the Academy resources, you guys are constantly adding more resources. Like across the month that I was doing it, I was getting emails like, hey, we have a new blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh my gosh, great. So don't be afraid to jump in, give things a try. Education, as we know, can be really powerful. And that includes ourselves. We need to educate ourselves to take these steps. So having a resource is really valuable.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you for joining. Thank you for your vulnerability, sharing all the ups and downs of your messy middle, and congratulations on your new career.
Thank you so much.
Such an honest and powerful conversation. And I hope this gave you a real look at what the messy middle can actually feel like. Because as Kim shared, sometimes this isn't just about wanting something different. It's about reaching a point where you know you can't keep going the way you have been. And when everything feels uncertain, when you don't have a plan, when life feels like it's shifting all at once, it can be really easy to feel stuck. But what Kim showed us is that progress doesn't come from having it all figured out. It comes from taking the next step, even when that step feels small. Even if it's just opening LinkedIn for 5 minutes. Even if it's just staying in the process one more day. Because you don't always know when things are going to shift. And in Kim's case, that shift came sooner than she expected, with a full-time role as a customer success manager. But it didn't happen because she had the perfect plan. It happened because she kept going. So if you're in that place right now, feeling overwhelmed, starting over, or unsure of what comes next, just know that you're not alone in that. And you don't have to have everything figured out to move forward. You just have to keep going. And if you're looking for support as you navigate your own transition, that's exactly what we're here to help you with inside the Teacher Career Transition Academy. We help you break this process down into clear, manageable steps so you can build clarity, confidence, and momentum, one step at a time. You can find more information in the show notes. And as always, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with a teacher who might need to hear it. Remember, friends, the journey is just the beginning. Embrace the adventure.